Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 난 겨울. Yeah, girl, cold blood. Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 그 chill 꿈에도 I wasn't aware. 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해. 내 신감이 들어 단판이 돼도 머릿속을 흔드니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop. 승부욕을 자극하는 style yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가. 안만 빠져버릴까. If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded. I'm like frozen 뭐야 모두 stress은 gotta let it go 했어. 소개팅 데이팅 어플 다 깔아도 보았어. 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract. Don't know about me and you, yeah we fell into the cracks. Yeah 갖고 너네 no cap. 왜 나는 보여 what's happening. 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and waving fast. Yeah I'm leaving back but 말은 don't know만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know 이건 love a relationship. 헷갈리기만 해 girl. I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Girl, you cold-blooded. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded.
What's up, everybody? What is going on? Good evening. I hope that everybody in the building is doing pretty well. What's going on, folks? Welcome to another edition of Sir Hale Speaks. It is good to see you this Monday evening. I told you guys sometime before that we'll be doing some lives Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then I think today is a good day to do a show. But before we get started, let me show some love to those who are just joining. What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing this evening? I hope that your Monday was great. We're going to have a great show. Hold on, before we start, who was here for Super Sunday yesterday? If you're in the chat and you were here yesterday, let me know if you were here or not for the show yesterday. We are going to be recapping a bit about the show that we did yesterday, a point that I want to highlight about wives and her usefulness. So let me know if you guys were here. I want to make sure I acknowledge you guys. Salute to Mrs. She Said is in the building. Good to see you. Glad that you were here. Salute to the one and the only Dr. Eugene, still in the building. Good to see you tonight. Glad that you are here as well. Okay, good. Miss She said you were here. Okay, good. So we're going to recap. But before we do, I've got a few pretty big announcements to make. So I see people coming in. So I'll do it now, and then I'll probably go back over this again. So we've got some really big things coming up. In September, we will be having the Black Manosphere Conclave. It will be in Atlanta, Georgia. And I think it's going to be a fantastic event. It's a fantastic event. We got some great individuals who are going to be there. You guys see Shannon Ross. You guys see Mr. Obsidian. Y'all see the real Nathan Daly. You see Tia Lay is in the building. You've got Theo. You got Coach Clinician. You got a whole lot of different individuals who are going to be there. And we're going to get together. We're going to pull our minds together. And the goal of this conclave is really to empower men. And so for everybody who's out there talking about what are y'all men doing to hold men accountable, what are y'all doing to encourage men? Well, you see it. The Black Manosphere Conclave is going down in Atlanta, Georgia this September. I've pinned the link to the chat, and I hope that everybody who's on here, if you're a man, I hope that you would make some space and some time to go. This is going to be a very pivotal, an important event, because as we start talking about success and moving forward, not just in relationships, but in health and technology and your mental health and the way that you dress, your image, so on and so forth, it's important that you don't do this isolated. It's important that you become great around other great brothers who are going to hold you accountable and to push you into greatness. And no man becomes great alone. All right. So every woman who's watching this, if you have a man, if you have a husband, if you have a boyfriend, if you have a son who's of age, I encourage you to make the purchase. Get your tickets and make your way out there to meet with us. It's going to be a fantastic time. So let me play this clip, this 30-second clip. You guys take a look at this. We're going to have a really good time in Atlanta. Take a look at this. Let's go. Y'all see what it is. So again, the link is pinned to the chat. So if you guys see that, you guys go there and make sure that you check it out. Become a member, show some love. Ladies, get this for your husband, get for your boyfriend who you plan on marrying. We're gonna have a great time there. Okay, good. All right, take heed. Good to see you, Harris Tribe. Good to see you in the building. Wally, what's going on? Glad that you were here. All right, guys, another announcement I'm really happy to announce. I've been working on this for some time. If you guys were with me last week, you saw I've been real busy. Y'all been seeing these reels, these clips, these lives. We have been working. If you were here last week, last Friday, I started a show. I've kind of let people who are close to me know that what I'm trying to do is elevate and bring a level of entertainment and education. And so what I want to do is I want to start hosting debates. I'm not talking about ratchet stuff. I ain't talking about we get on here, we're going to cuss each other out because we feel some kind of way. No, we're talking about some real debates. And I invite people onto this particular show who have a particular stance on something. So it could be that you're pro-marriage. Well, if you're pro-marriage, I'm going to have somebody who's anti-marriage, right? And the goal is for us to show the world that we can have intellectual conversations that are both entertaining and that are both educational as well. I don't know if this is part of me that's always wanted to be a host of a television show, but certainly I've got a passion for it. And you guys saw a version of that last Friday when I had Rob B, I had Mandrell, and I had Thanos Theory on here, and we talked about a couple of different things, particularly as it affects the Black community. So we're going to build on that, and the name of the show is going to be The Debate Space. Y'all see what time it is. We elevating the platform, baby. You see what I'm saying? We are going to we're going to have a debate space, and this is going to give us an opportunity, instead of us just simply disagreeing because we don't like an idea, or we're disagreeing because we don't understand an idea. And our disagreement, it gives us an opportunity to converse and to exchange knowledge. And even if we don't sway the other person to see it the way we do, maybe we gain some insight into the other person's perspective, and we create a deeper connection with one another. I think it's going to be dope. So some of you guys I know, the Harris Tribe, I got to reach out to y'all because you guys have a stance on marriage and you guys have a stance on life. And we want to pair people who are excellent, not only in this community, but just who have the receipts in their life to back it up. And we want to display this to the world because there is greatness in our communities. And I think that we highlight the ratchet and we don't really put forth the positive. So we want to do that. Shout out to SBU Live. You know, they always have an ear and a plug for the positive. And so we want to build on this in our community. So you guys be looking out for this. This will be Fridays at 6. Sir Hale Speaks introduces the debate space. Sir Hale Speaks in the building. Okay. Okay, guys, it's going to be exciting. So, and then you guys let people know as well. Tell them to come on over here to subscribe. We're going to have a great time. I'm going to talk about stuff that are that's current that may be ratchet, but the goal is not to simply highlight the ratchet, is to call it out and highlight the steps it takes to correct these things. All right, so let's jump into the show today, y'all. I think I've given you guys enough information. So if you guys were here yesterday, I did a show, Super Sunday. Shout out to the panel and everybody who was able to come. We did a show and it was called "A Successful Woman is a Man's Greatest Asset." And we did this show because I'm changing the narrative to some degree. If you've been in these conversations about marriage and relationships, you certainly have heard the saying that men don't care about a woman's education. We don't care about a woman's success. We don't care about her money. We don't care about anything but her ability to respect the man that she's with and to determine what value she brings to a man's life. You guys have heard this. We've talked about it ad nauseum. You've heard this. But I think that there are some misconceptions about when men say that they don't care about a woman's education. I think that most people believe that when a man says, "I don't care about a woman's education," I think that they mean, people interpret that to mean that we don't care, or we don't want her to be educated. We don't want her to go to college. We don't want her to be successful. And I think that there's a misconception that I want to clear up. When a man says, a masculine man who has a purpose for his life, who has a direction that he's going in, a strong man who's confident, when he says that he doesn't care about a woman's education, he's simply saying that he's not looking for the woman's education or her success to be the thing that sustains him or the relationship itself. The other part to this is he doesn't want the pursuit and the accomplishment, her successes, her education, to be the biggest criteria that she judges herself with. And this is now the sole benefit that he gets from being with her. And I think this is important to note because so many people hear this and they assume that men are not celebrating a woman's education. That's not the truth. I'm telling you, most successful men, we love an intelligent woman who can think on her feet, somebody who's witty, who knows how to get stuff done. And if he has a thought, she can add to that thought. If he has greatness, she can make it even greater. Men love women who are intelligent. I want you guys to hear that. We love women who are intelligent, women who are well-spoken, women who can have a conversation. If we go and we bring you around our friends, you know how to blend in and get along with other women. If there's the potential for business deals, you know how to speak the language. Even deeper than your ability to speak is being wise enough to know when to not say nothing. We love an intelligent woman. It's just in the world we live in today, so many people weaponize their education and their success, and then it goes into she doesn't need a man because she has it. So men love a woman who's educated. We just don't like in our contemporary society that if you're educated, you got a degree, you got money, that this now is the biggest bargaining chip to show your value, even if you lack the requisite relationship skills to make the relationship worth being in. Does that make sense, y'all? Can you guys agree to this? That's the concern that men have. And so I did a show on this, and in doing this show yesterday, it made me look at the state that we're in just in America. And you guys know we've been talking about Kiki. We've been talking about this whole situation about her and Darius and that dilemma. And if you guys haven't seen it, I'm going to play this clip really quickly, and I'm going to come back. So you guys saw that. I'm not going to play all of it because it's 6 o'clock, and it's 6 o'clock, so I don't want to play all of it. But you guys saw that her, Kiki, and Darius have been going through some issues, and it has spurred a lot of different conversations. If you guys go to Facebook, go to Twitter, go to TikTok, go to any place, you guys are hearing conversations about Kiki and Darius. And some of the things that you hear is Darius was weak. He shouldn't have done what he did. Some people are defending Kiki and saying she's a young woman, she's a mother, and she just wanted to feel good about herself. Some people are extreme and they're saying that Darius is a weak man and doesn't deserve her. and that, Kiki should just move on and find somebody else. And I want to tell everybody who has that opinion to just simply be quiet. Y'all just be quiet. Kiki was, if I give you my perspective, Kiki was, that is not something you wear without your man being next to you. If you're going to go out and your dress is that way, it is that revealing, you wear that when you were with your man. So I can't say the dress was wrong, but the environment was. And certainly, ladies, I want you guys to understand this. If you got a man, I don't care how confident that man is, there should be a certain level of self-respect that you can be all up on another dude, gushing over him. You understand? Because men want to be admired and praised. And if you are with a man and he sees you admiring and gushing over and praising somebody in a way that you've never given to him, well, you could, come on, it's only fair that he got feelings. Like, come on, can we agree to that, y'all? I mean, let's be for real. Everybody's saying he's weak. Everybody's saying, he's insecure. And I think what we're doing is we're minimizing the fact that, number one, a man who he made a mistake by tweeting to the world, and saying what he says, you never go public with your personal business, particularly as a man, you don't do this, but y'all acting like what he said was wrong. What he said was simply that you're a mother, and he's alluding to the fact that you shouldn't be out here conducting yourself that way. He's absolutely right. He is absolutely right. If you got a man, number one, you're going to be dressed that way, dressed like that out in public with your man. And number two, you don't be all up on nobody else. I'll say this to all you young women. If you got a man in your life, the two-handed titty hug, the two-handed hug where you throw your arms around somebody's neck and the whole chesticles is on them. The whole chest area is on you. That should be for your man. Everybody else get the side hug. Unless you're a church mother, that's the only exception. Church mothers and grandmothers. Everybody else, if you got a man, every other person gets the side hug. And so Kiki, she was out of line for this one. And Darius was out of line for how he responded. But here's the thing. In marriage and in relationships, and they're not married, but in relationships, you are bound to make mistakes. And so for everybody who's calling for them to break up and call it quits because of this incident, most of y'all are toxic. They don't need to break up. This is an opportunity for them to learn a lesson on how to be together and how to respect each other's boundaries and how not to let the opinions of the outside world, particularly those that are not pro their union, pro their relationship, pro their family, not to allow them to get in and give you ammunition to rip apart your family when they're not going to be the one to help you raise your child. They're not going to be the one to help fill in the gaps there. So everybody who's watching this, it should be up to us. We should be encouraging people who make mistakes like this is fixable. Like what they did with this is fixable. Was it ratchet? Was it childish? Yes, but it's fixable. And I think it's up to us, particularly us who's been married and we've been through some things, to encourage them, to highlight where they went wrong, but to give them some steps and encouragement on how to make it right. It's fixable. You guys agree? You think this is a fixable situation? Y'all think it's fixable? Y'all think what they dealt with is fixable or that it's over? Let me hear from you guys. All right. So from that conversation, we kind of talked about that, and then it went into the main topic of the conversation. And this had to do with a woman's usefulness. So we talked about a woman who is successful, who is educated. And the question was, is this kind of woman a man's greatest asset? And the panel made some really great points. I'm going to pull it up. They made some really, really great points about this, in that Sir Charles specifically started it off by saying that a man's his own self is his greatest asset. And outside of himself, the woman that he selects becomes his greatest asset. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to pull us into what we're talking about tonight. This is from Super Sunday from last night. You guys take a listen to this. We'll play this, and I'm going to come back and we're going to react to this in just a bit. And we can hear you though. It may just be on your side.
I was having a problem on my side too earlier.
Okay. So. Yep. No problem. Cookie, let's bring it to you. A successful, educated woman is a man's biggest asset, greatest asset.
Outside of himself, I would say Yes, simply, I like to use analogies. Okay, so it's kind of like you get those little shots they sell at the store that you can shake up and drink on quick. It's like your morning vitamin
Oh yeah.
B, and then it's like plus immunity or plus zinc or plus whatever thing that you might be um, missing, right,
Mhm.
in your
And so, guys, I
diet.
want you to understand what she's saying. So, she's talking about now is a wife, a successful, educated woman, a man's greatest asset. And what she's saying is she should be a great addition to a man's life. This is the very big point that I agree with, that a man should have something going on for himself, something of substance, quality, a trajectory in which he's pulling himself, his life, and those who are connected to him in a direction that improves the quality of their life. And that kind of man has a woman who has something to offer, and she becomes an addition, a plus, a multiplier to what he's already doing. Let's continue.
So an educated woman wouldn't fill in the gaps, I guess, that you're like a vitamin that you would take for a man. The things that you're missing,
You said she wouldn't?
she would.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
She would fill in those gaps where, like Reckless was saying, where the men don't have time. Like my dad was always out. He was always gone. So a lot of things clerical, he didn't know what was going on with it. My mom was doing
Now,
that.
guys, take a
You know
listen
what
to
I mean?
take a listen to what's being said. Her perspective is that a woman should be in addition to a man's life, and what is her perspective based off of? Experience. She saw how her father moved, how he operated, and she saw how her mother complemented what her father did. Today is important because so many people didn't have this example. And for those of you who are either two things, if you come from this or you are emulating this, it's important. And I don't care what anybody says about people who are tired of marriage. I'm going to go on a rant for a second. Everybody be talking, I'm tired of talking about marriage. I'm tired of relationships. Oh, you should be tired of McDonald's. You should be tired of stuff that's hurting your health. You should be tired of bad policies. But we get tired of talking about things that are actually beneficial because we have conversation fatigue. So I like what she says because she's bringing up something that I think is important, that what people grow up to become is often a reflection of what they've been exposed to. And the fact that she had a father who moved, who was a man who was a leader, who took care of the household, and she saw how her mother was a compliment to him, it gives her a perspective on how it should be. So shout out to every married couple. Shout out to everybody who is in a marriage, who is putting in work day in and day out, loving on your husband, loving on your wife, and being a good example to those kids. Even though your kids might not be giving you the return on all of your investment now, what you are doing is producing quality and foundation in them that's going to show up later in their life. So salute to every married person who's watching, and those who are marriage minded and want to emulate this as well. Salute to y'all. Much respect to you. Let's continue.
I mean, if he was gone at the golf course or a rifle club, those were all things that my mom took care of. But she was educated and she took care of us as well. And she knew that how the home was something that she was supposed to take care of. So, like a lot of men say, a woman can make or break a man, right? And it starts with the household and the foundation and the kids. And if that's broken, then nothing else around him will work, including the businesses, all of that, because it all starts at home. So
Yeah, this is a very big point. And I will be honest with you. I said this to you before, to my audience and to those I speak to. I grew up believing that nobody could affect what I do. Whatever I do, I put the effort in, and I won't give anybody the power to affect my life, to affect my success. But the truth is, as you get older, you start to recognize that the people you align yourself with have a direct impact on how far you go in your life. And this is friends, this is connections, this is partners and associates. Even deeper is the person a man marries. This is why it's so critical for men to understand that it's great. I want you to get the most beautiful, the most finest woman you can. But after that beauty and out to all that fineness, what does she offer to your life? How does she help you? Besides you having some eye candy to come home to and walk around with, what quality does she add to your life? Because in the real world, for successful men, the woman you marry has the ability to open doors or to have those doors shut in your face. So who you marry has a big impact, and I want every man not to take that lightly. Let's keep on going.
If you have a woman that can get it done at home and then roll over into the business with you, I don't see why you would want a bag of rocks as a wife. Like Rachel said, leave the stupid women to them, to the men that don't know how to value an educated woman, and give us educated women to men that'll reel us in and be like, hey, I don't know how to build a website. Did you take a class that where you can do that? Or
now let me chime in here, guys. So men are not afraid. I got to dispel this. No man, take this how you want to. No man is intimidated by an educated and an intelligent woman. I want to dispel this myth. So any woman who's talking about, most men are intimidated by me. Now, it's something about you that he don't like. And it's just convenient to use your education as the justification why you can't get along with a man. So stop it. Ain't no man, take this how you will. No man is intimidated or disapproving of a woman who is educated and intelligent. It's just that a lot of men we don't have the patience to fight with a woman who believes that her sole value, or the majority of that, comes from the fact that she's gotten a degree from an institution. Ain't no man about to fight you about this. And I think that because you haven't heard this communicated by, like, a lot of men in your family, you assume that a man has a problem with the degree. It ain't the degree, it's the attitude that comes after the degree. I've seen some great women who've had great men who've helped her to pay for school. She ends up getting her bachelor's and her master's degree. And the interesting thing is, the man helps her to pay for the education. Now, he's a regular worker. He's working 2 jobs. He's a trucker and he's a police officer and he works security overnight. He's working to put her through school. Now, he's not really college educated, but he's a hard worker. He helps put her through school. She gets her degree. She becomes indoctrinated. And the same man who helped her, who was good enough to get the degree, now she's looking down on and she feels like she's better than. This is what men are concerned with. It's not that he doesn't want somebody who's uneducated. It's just, are you using your education to be a weapon to show me how you are strong enough to do it without me? Or is your education a tool that we can use to move our family and to move the man's plans ahead much faster than he could do on his own? Are you an accelerator to this man, or are you a brake? Does that make sense? I want you guys to hear that. That's for every lady who's watching this. Are you an accelerator? Is your degree, is your success, is your intelligence, is your knowledge? Are you an accelerator to that man's life, or are you a brake? Because every time he tries to talk with you or you guys have a disagreement, there's a fight and there's a tug of war of power and a tug of war of respect, because you deem the education as more significant than the man in the relationship. Are you an accelerator, or are you a brake to that man's life? That's the question that every woman has to ask herself. Let's play a little bit more, guys.
did you do the design or whatever? Can you call these people on the phone, because I get anxiety on it, for whatever reason it is, they're able to use their wife as an asset. Now, when that comes in, the wife has to want to be used as an asset. If she's like, no, I'm doing my own thing, I got this going on over here.
That's a great point.
That's
a great
problems
point.
come in.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I want to talk about tonight. Is, ladies, with your educated and your sophisticated self, can you be used? That's the question. So what we see in this particular modern age is we get stuff and we're promoting, and every man who has a woman, a daughter, has women in your life, I want you to be an encouragement for them to pursue their education and to go get it, to better themselves. But ladies, the question that I have for you is, are you going to be able to hang up this certificate to say that you're educated? Are you filing the EIN and registering your business to say I got the business, so you can brag to your friends and to the world and to let them know how bad of a woman you are? Or if you want to be married, is the goal of getting this education and obtaining this success, is this a tool that you're going to use to be an assistant, to be an accelerator to that man moving forward in life? This is the question that most men want you to answer. And it's important to say this because there's so many of our women who believe that men are intimidated. Men don't want you to be educated. Men are afraid of a woman who knows stuff. That is not the truth. Men want an educated woman who can train those kids. Let me tell you something about this. You can't tell. All right, I'm about to go there now. You can't tell me, I don't want to hear how educated you are. You can't tell me about all the degrees you got. I don't care about none of that if your kids can't read. I don't want to hear how you matriculated and what your GPA is. If all that you've gotten isn't reflected in how you are raising your kids. I will take a woman who may not have graduated from school. I will take a woman who may not have all the certificates. But if I look at her kids are intelligent, they are well-mannered, they are respectful, they are thoughtful about stuff. They are thankful and grateful for what they get. I'll take a woman like that who can not only learn stuff for herself, but who has the patience and the grace to transmit what she's learned to help produce better people and the kids that she has. And I think this is what we got to get to for our community. I want black girl magic. I want you to be excellent. But I think it's time for us to reel this back in and get down to the root of this. Is what you're acquiring in your life, is it all about you, or is what you're getting putting you in a position to be used by your husband and your family? That's the question. Salute to Eugene Steele for the $10 super chat. He says, keep in mind that a woman's supposed to be a helpmate. Therefore, an educated woman can definitely be helpful because she may know things the man doesn't. That's a fact. Thank you, Dr. Eugene Still. I appreciate that $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. Guys, this is a really good point. So I'll tell you guys this, I get credit for a lot of things, but if I'm being honest, a lot of these things I've got to get credit to my wife for. A lot of these things, when I first started up my YouTube channel, I had no idea about how to run cameras, had no ideas about lights. All I knew was when I turned on the light, I was black because I didn't know anything about lights. I had this one little bit of ring light and it didn't do nothing for me at all. But my wife had went to school for digital cinematography. And so the knowledge that she got, we were able to leverage her knowledge to help create a podcast. And what you guys see today is in part by me having a wife who was skilled in an area that I was not, right? And in this, what I found is that what she brought to the relationship is a benefit to me now. Now, she got this years ago. But what my wife got years ago is a benefit now. And when I need something done, or when I need some type of creative idea to do something, I can go to my wife and I can say, wife, what's your idea on this? And based off of her education and experience, I at least now have two thoughts instead of just my own, because I married somebody who is an asset. This is what most successful men do. This is what most successful men do. If you find men who are confident, we sit back and we chill when we know we got our woman to handle certain things. Now, we're not letting her take care of the lion's share of stuff, but a man feels, look, a man walks a little bit taller with his shoulders up, just a little bit more when he got a woman that he can rely on and he knows that she's going to come through for him. And this is what I want for all of our wives who are currently wives and women who want to be, is what you get if you want to be married, is what you're doing now, your education, your skill set, what you're taking in, what you're ingesting, what you're learning, what you're becoming associated with. Is this contributing to you having a more successful and stable marriage and family? Or is it just it's just for you to feel good right now, to brag on your accomplishments? If there's anything that's true today, is the truth is we don't have time to just brag on what we got. If you're gonna spend $30,000, $60,000, $120,000 on an education and pay these institutions, then you better make sure that this money you're investing is directed on making your family life better. Because too many of you are going home and going to sleep just to go back to work instead of using your work to make your home better. Does that make sense? So I'm encouraging every woman who wants to be married, everything you do should not only be for the benefit of you, but for the man that you're with. And the question that I want to ask you is, can you be used? That's the question on the table. Is with your sophisticated self, with your great self, can you be used? I know, and I'm dropping the link now. I'd like to hear from you guys. All that you have now, as great as you are, can you be used? So a lot of women believe that because they get a degree, they shouldn't be the ones cleaning anymore. They got a degree, they too good to cook now. They got a degree now, they can't make games for their kids anymore. They got a degree now they can't, a husband can't say, hey babe, can you rub my back and take care of me? Because that degree to her puts her in a position to be served. And the truth is, the best servers, the best people who assist are people who empower themselves to be of service to other people. I want you guys to hear what I just said. Like, we don't get education and we don't get success to simply be served. A woman who wants to be a wife, what she gets should be so that she can become of greater service to her man and to her family and to those that are in her care. The sad part is, so many women, though, you give them that, and they believe that they're owed the world, and they don't believe that them getting more means that they should be of more service to those around them. And this is the message that I want to put out for those who are in marriage and those who want to be. I want every woman on here to be sophisticated and educated, but I want you to keep stuff in perspective. That what you do should be to the betterment of your house. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm going to rant, then I'm done. A lot of us, it's about to get messy. It's about to get messy. So if you're on here, it's about to get messy. So this is especially true for religious women. Any woman who's on here and you profess faith in some way, it's important that you emulate the faith you profess. A lot of us, we love to say you love God and you love Jesus and you're religious and you got that. I don't want to hear how religious you are if you can't serve your man. I don't want to hear it. Do not tell me how much you love God. Do not tell me how much you in church and how much you participate and what events you go to and how you serve your church. I don't want to hear it. How is your home life? Are you willing to serve your man? Are you willing to serve your children? It bothers me because I see so many people who are Christians and so many people who profess a level of faith. And if I look at your life, you care about your job, you care about your circles, your social circles, you care about your sororities, you care about the people that you're connected to. And then when we look at your home life gets the scraps. Your home life, your kids have to beg for your attention. They have to wonder if you're going to show up to practice or to their games. Your husband never knows what version of you he's going to get. But the church gets the best of you. Your office gets the best of you. Your girlfriends get the best of you. And then your home life suffers. I don't want to hear, don't you tell me that you in church. I don't want to hear you love Jesus. I don't care. How is your home life? I don't want to hear how loyal you are to your job. Don't you put another post on you been at your job for 20 years. I don't care. Is there a smile on your man's face and do you care about it? Don't you tell me about you out here saving the children, and you sponsor people and you send money overseas to help feed people when your children are going hungry for your emotional availability. When they're going hungry because you're not there nourishing them in terms of your nurturing, and you're like, I don't care. And I'm coming down hard on a lot of us Christians because us preachers are preaching on top of issues to keep people coming to church, even when we're sending people from church back to a broken home. And I'm not for it. I am not going to be a podcaster, a speaker, an author, and my sole goal is to get my numbers up at the expense of broken homes. No, it's a reason why you see so many hurt men today. And then we have the nerve to say, who hurt you? We have the nerve to say that man needs therapy. Well, of course he needs therapy. If you were raised in an environment where you had to grow up too soon, there you had we talk about an absent father, but now we get absent parents because mama's chasing the bag, daddy has to work multiple jobs, and we've left our kids to be raised by iPads. We put too much pressure on teachers after school. We gotta put too much pressure on grandmas. Everybody's we said we need a village to raise the kids. The village was supposed to help. They were never supposed to be the primary caretaker. And what a lot of us have done, but specifically those of us who are so focused on external success, we are willing to let the world raise our kids for us to obtain some personal level of success. And the only time that we're involved at a deep level with our kids is when somebody does something to them or when they do something to make us proud. I don't want to hear another person tell me you love Jesus and your home doesn't reflect the love you're supposed to have. Let me take this a little bit deeper. Take it a little bit deeper. A lot of people, a lot of the women in church be talking about, first giving honor to God who's the head of my life, and to the pastor and to my husband. If when you go to church and your perspective is you give everybody honor before your man, you are out of line. I'm talking about specifically for you Christian women. Those of you who profess the faith, if you look at your word, the pastor is not your head. Your husband is. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going so deep on this. It's because I've noticed, I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's pride. I don't know if it's arrogance. I don't know what this is. But a lot of my sisters, a lot of you women who were married and want to be, y'all will give everybody else credit but your man. You will give everybody praise but your man. You will thank the government for what they do for you. You would thank anybody who gives you a contribution. You would thank your mama. You would thank your daddy. You would thank your brothers. And then when it comes to your man who is there, everybody else gets credit. That's what comes to your mind first. But the man who is actually there, he get the leftovers. Y'all are out of line. If you were married and you are a person of faith, your husband is your head. So when you give thanks to God, you should be first giving honor to God and my husband, who is the head of my life. I know this sounds terrible, but if you profess to follow the word, there is a particular order. It's amazing how you want your husband to be a covering, but you keep getting from out under the cover and then wondering why your house ain't blessed. It's because, ma'am, you are out of order. And a man should not have to force you to stay under his covering, not if you say you love the Lord. Let me pause here for a second. Sir Hale Speaks to me tonight. I'm saying this because we have so many Christian women who profess faith, who can quote what the pastor says. It's funny. You can remember a 45-minute sermon and then you could disrespect a conversation with your man. Listen, don't you sing to me another hymn? Don't you send me another podcast of what another preacher has said? Don't you tell your husband about what the preacher said? Don't you invite him back to church? Don't invite your husband to a place where you show respect for somebody else and then you won't give that to your own home. I know some of you are saying, well, my husband sucks. I got a terrible man who ain't a Christian. Well, you a Bible believer, right? You're a Bible believing woman, right? The Bible says that if a man has a wife who is a believer, then the believing wife can sanctify her husband. Oh yeah, I'm giving it to you now. So for all of you women who are saying, I can't submit to a man who ain't submitted to God, well, if you chose to marry him, he is still your head. And just so you wouldn't have division, God creates something for you to do so that you don't break the order. If your husband is not a believer, you as a wife who is a believer have the power to sanctify your man. But instead of y'all sanctifying y'all man, y'all cuss him out. Instead of you sanctifying your man, you'll disrespect him. Instead of you sanctifying your man, you'll call out his problems. When good wives are not the ones who call out all the issues and flaws, sometimes wives are the one to piece in and to give the man what he needs in his life, because a wife is a helper. And if you can't help your man, then why are you in his life? Y'all feel me? I'm holding every Christian woman accountable. Now, I talked about the women. Let me get to the men, because we have these conversations about what you want from a wife. We talk often about what you need from a wife. She got to be beautiful. She's got to be good looking. You know what I mean? She's got to be submissive. She's got to be kind. A lot of y'all don't even know what to do with a woman. A lot of you don't even know what to do with a wife, because your limited perspective is you want somebody. All right, hold on. What time is it, guys? It's 6:48. I can't say this. A lot of you men, you want a level of wife and service and attentiveness and respect when you don't have the character it takes to not only appreciate the woman you have, but to build her up and make her a better woman. It is something to be said about you and your manhood. If you can have a wife and she doesn't become better in any area of her life and she's around a builder. A husband is a builder to his wife. And if the woman that you're with is not progressing in some area, she's not inspired, she's not encouraged to want to be better, there's nothing about her that when she looks at herself, because she's got you in her corner, she's got you as a covering. She's got you as a man who has her back. If she's not getting better and she's with you, then sir, you are out of order. See, the Bible talks about a man loving his wife as Christ loves the church. See, a lot of us, you're waiting for your wife to get it right. You're waiting for your wife to be in line. And sir, you're not being the covering you're supposed to be. You pick and choose when you're going to be a good husband. You pick and choose when you want to be a good leader. You pick and choose when you're going to be stoic. You pick and choose when you're going to be that servant leader, because she has to do everything right to get the kind of masculine man you are. And the moment she doesn't do what you like, you will go talk to other women. The moment she doesn't do what you like, you will be off-putting, you'll be dismissive. And instead of you having some patience and knowing how to pray for your wife, and I'm not saying this is in every case, but a lot of you don't even pray for your wife. You will talk down to her, you will belittle her, you will call it all of her issues. But when's the last time you truly prayed for her? Not pray that God changed her to be the woman that fits all of your desires, but when was the last time you prayed to her that she was who God intended for her to be? You want your wife to do everything for you, and you're not even covering her the way that you're supposed to. Y'all feel me tonight? I'm saying this because we sin as men, we are the leaders, and this is a very tough thing. And I had a conversation in our after chat last night, and we talk about marriage and we talk about it from a biblical foundation. But if we really talk about marriage from that perspective, half of the people who talking about marriage ain't ready for it. Y'all, can I go there tonight with y'all? If you guys got a few more minutes, y'all let me know in the chat. Can I go here with y'all tonight for a few minutes? Then I'm gonna be done. I promise. Give me about 15 minutes and I'll be done. A lot of y'all, if for those of you who profess the faith, a lot of y'all, you ain't ready for real marriage. It's a reason why y'all still focused on little stupid stuff. It's a reason why y'all focused on little trivial stuff. If you're talking about real marriage, number one, marriage is really not about you. It is not about the person who's on your arm. It's not about how you feel. It's not about necessarily what you want. For men, marriage is about taking somebody, a woman, and using your influence in such a way that when people see the woman that you are with, not only do they have respect for you, but they understand that God must be real. Why? Because if a man's job is to love his wife as Christ loves the church, then that means that the way you love her ought to be a direct reflection of the sacrifice that Christ makes for his people. So you can't say that you're a Bible believing man while you simultaneously tear down your wife. Let me go here for a second. Let me go here for a second. You can't be cussing your wife out. You can't be belittling your wife. You can't be out here cheating on your wife and then tell me you're a man of God. No, sir, you're not. You are what we call a hypocrite. You want your wife to be loyal. You want her to make sure that she's respectful to you. You want to make sure that she comes back home. You don't get to be a man of God and put your wife down. And when your wife needs you, she can't depend on you. And when your wife needs you for something, she can't rely on you. She can't rely on you to take care of the bills. She can't rely on you to be the man that you said you're going to be, a man who doesn't keep his word. You can't tell me you're a man of God and your wife cannot rely on you. Sir, we don't want to hear it. If you're not ready to sacrifice and to put your needs last, to make sure that your wife and your kids' needs come first, and that you have a particular path that you're on that's going to make everybody's lives better, then you, sir, you are not ready for marriage. Y'all feel what I'm saying? And I'm not giving your wives no excuse, so don't think that I am. You still got to be a good wife, even if you got a knucklehead husband. But this is what people need to hear. It can't just be the women are the issue or the men are just the issue. What we really need is people showing people how to do it together. Sir, if you're going to be a husband to this woman, you got to be committed. There are going to be times, and let me give it to you raw. There are going to be times where you don't like the woman that you're with. Either she don't look as good as she used to, maybe she's gained some weight, maybe her personality is changing as she's gotten older. There are going to be some things you simply don't like. Let me be real with you. If you are a successful man, you're going to find other women more attractive. There are going to come times in your life, if you're not careful, where the in love part goes away and you guys are not as in love as you used to be. And those are very difficult times to be in. It's very challenging. But as a husband, your goal is to help steer that ship. So as you guys go through that turbulence, you guys still find a way to sustain that strength. If every time you guys go through a rough patch, you got to go talk to your ex, you're not ready for marriage. If every time something goes on, you've got to go find some comfort in the arms of another woman, then you're not ready for marriage, because marriage means that I'm going to go through some things for better or for worse. And even when it's worse, I remember how good it was. And my goal is to love my wife until we get back to a place where we're on good terms again. It's the same thing for you women. You can't tell me you love your husband and you will go cheat on him. I don't want to hear you love him. Can I talk to y'all for real for a second? Can I just be real with y'all for a second? A lot of y'all be thinking that your person who you're with don't get tempted too. A lot of you think that you're the only one that people want. You're the only person who got it so rough and you could find somebody else. Well, you might have a spouse who you think is less attractive. You may have a man who ain't as successful as you want. But the moment you start taking your person for granted is the moment you'll see that what you take for granted, if they're a decent person, somebody else won't. Ladies, you need to hear this, because a lot of you are cuter as a woman than your husband is as a man. And you think that because you get more attention, you play into that attention and you think that you're better than your man. Make no mistake. You might have more men who are willing to sleep with you, but there is a woman who's willing to steal and marry your man. And it is incumbent on both of you not to let any of those outside influences penetrate your marriage, and y'all got to protect that union. Y'all feel me? Y'all feel me on tonight?
Sir
I
Hale
went on a little
Speaks.
rant. I'm doing this though because I need you to understand the seriousness of marriage. If we're going to do marriage correctly, wife has to come ready for marriage. Husband has to come ready for marriage, and y'all both got to figure out how to stay together. And knowing that you guys are going to go through difficult times, you guys can get through any time you go through if you do it together. And that's what we're promoting. And the way that you do this is if a wife comes prepared, she comes with some skills ready to serve, husband comes into it ready to serve, y'all gonna be awesome. Y'all gonna be, if you stick it out, I promise you, you're gonna be awesome. And I want to serve as an encourager, and to those of you who need a coach or a guide, to let you know that difficult times are part of the process, but you can get through it if you do it together. And for wives to understand that you're going to go through difficult times, but if you are that man's asset, I don't care how difficult it is, a good man is going to do what it takes to make sure you stick around in his life. All right, y'all, I think I've cooked long enough. What do you guys think? Was off? What y'all think? Was off tonight? Let me get to some of these super chats I see in here. Salute to Andre in the building. He says, I'll take a virtuous and wise woman first, then those. That's a fact. Andre comes back with another $2 super chat, and he says, a man is known at the gates because of who she is. That's Proverbs 31. He's correct. Absolutely. He comes back with another $2 super chat. He says, husband is won by her conduct. This is a fact. Ladies, are you getting this? As a wife, you have power, you have influence, and I want you to be the best wife. What you invest early is what you get back later. And I want to see you happy. I don't want to see you wives getting divorced and getting run through because you thought there was something else better for you. I want you to be a great wife to your man. I told you, there's a couple things. Every woman who's on here, when you're talking to your man and you calling him bruh, and when he call you talking about what you want, what is it? Huh? We're going to start with respecting your man. If you're married, you need to have a term of respect when you address your man. Ladies, when you talk to your man, it ought to be yes, my love, or yes, sir. It might feel weird for a little bit, but what you're doing is you're signaling to him how much you respect him, and you're being an example to the kids about what respect looks like between a husband and his wife. Back in the old school, when I was growing up, I didn't know my grandparents. I didn't know older folks' names because granddaddy would call his wife mama, and mama would call granddaddy daddy. And what they were doing is they were teaching the young people how to respect each other. I'm saying if you got a husband, ladies, you should not be addressing him as bruh. You should not be cussing at your man. If you cussing at your man, I'm calling the cops because you should be respecting that man to the utmost. You should be addressing him as yes, my love, or yes, sir. Y'all feel me? I know it's old school. Y'all feel me? Yes, my love. Yes, sir. Ladies in the chat, y'all, right where you are, practice it with me. If you married, I want you to practice. I want you to say it with your chest. If you want to be married, I want you to practice it. If you want to be single, well, just don't say nothing. Yes, my love. Yes, sir. And some of y'all said it right now. I can sense it through this stream. It's almost like an exorcism. That feminism is coming out of you. It was just rough coming out. Yes, my love. When you talk to your man, address him with respect. Here's the second thing for you ladies. And see, this is the type of modern behavior I'm talking about. This is the type of modern behavior I'm talking about. Sugar bum. What's up, babe? Y'all don't listen to Sugar Bum. She's out of line. She's unruly and she's out of order. Sugar Bum, good to see you tonight. I'm saying this facetiously, but I mean this seriously. You address your man as yes, my love, or yes, sir. The second thing is, a lot of y'all in the kitchen cooking, and y'all in t-shirts and y'all in clothes from outside. Let me take a saying from T.K. Kirkland. Who raised you? Y'all come out the house. Y'all don't prepare. You ain't got no kitchen mittens. You pulling hot pans out the stove with dish rags and paper towels. Who raised you? If you're going to cook a meal, you need to have an apron and have all the requisite stuff to make sure that meal comes out nice so that your kids and your husband and your kids have a nutritious meal. How many of y'all got an apron? Every lady in here, I see y'all in here. How many ladies in here you own an apron and you use an apron when you cook dinner? If y'all are in here, you feeding your husband McDonald's and chicken nuggets, and you're feeding your husband fast food and you process meat and process sandwiches and stuff, potato chips and hot dogs, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'm not saying that there's no place for that, but if you're going through the week and you're not making chicken breasts and turkey and lean meats with vegetables and fruits, you out of line. You should have an apron and master that moment. I'm gonna say this other part to this. If you guys everybody get their food and you go to your room and you watch TV, you get your food and you go to the other room and you watching YouTube, you out of line. Mothers, your job is to rally the family together and y'all sit down and have dinner together. I'm just amazed. Y'all will go out to lunch with your coworkers. You'll go out to church fellowships. You'll go out to dinners and celebrations for work, but you can't make time for 30 minutes to eat with your family. You out of line. Every woman, you're going to address your husband as, yes, my lover, yes, sir. 2, you're going to get an apron and cook nutritious meals for your family. And the third and final thing I got to say this to y'all. All right, this is for every married person and for every married woman who will be. It should, unless there is a medical concern, unless there is something going on to where you can't do this, you ought to be throwing that thing and make sure that thing and for your man. It is too many frustrated men out here. I'm in the gym often, and let me tell you, there's a lot of men who are frustrated, and they shouldn't be lifting as much weights as they are. But because they ain't getting out on the regular, that frustration and that testosterone comes out in the gym. Y'all should have a regular life where you guys get to enjoy each other. You don't let work get in the way of that. Shout out to Mr. She Said and Mr. He Said. I was watching the stream of theirs and it was really good. They talked about it last week, and they were talking about about intimacy and how two married people, how you guys have to respect each other's desires, and that you do what you can to make sure you take care of each other. This is so true. And it's interesting that I have to say this, but it is so true. Do you not understand, ladies, that your man not only wants it, but that he needs it? Every woman who's in here, I want you guys to hear it. Do y'all not understand that your man not only wants it, but he needs it? When a man gets what he needs from his wife in this particular area, this is where he feels connected. This is where he feels connected to you. Not only does he feel relieved, but that sense of love and that connection is even deeper when you guys are doing that thing. But if he has to wait 2-3 weeks, or when you guys do it, you just lay there and ain't engaged in making it a great time, he doesn't get the benefit of the wife experience. And it's the same thing with you ladies. The truth is, it's good for you as well. It creates connectedness. It's hard to be upset with each other when you guys are doing that thing and you guys are loving on each other. We got to get back to promoting marriage and doing the ingredients it takes to make it successful. And I'll say this last thing. If you want it to be successful, you can't take an institution ordained by God and not have God in it. I know you guys are saying I'm not super religious. I'm not asking you to be. But I am saying if you're not taking the time to honor and to love and to make sure that how you love the person you're with, that you respect them as God's child, and that you make sure that God is in your relationship, no matter how great you are, is bound to fail. I believe in marriage. I believe in wives providing their husbands with the 5-star wife experience, and for husbands to be valiant men who are great coverings to their wives. So I hope that I've said something that inspired you or something that encouraged you to be great as a husband or a wife, because I believe in marriage. And we're going to continue talking about this because I believe this is one of the keys it takes to rebuilding and improving our communities. All right, y'all. So listen, I'm going to drop the link one more time. If you guys want to call in and offer your perspective on what I said, I would love to hear from you. If I got it wrong, tell me I got it wrong. If you agree, I would love to hear from you. I just dropped the link now. If you guys want to call in, we'd love to hear from you. Again, thank you to everybody who's given a super chat. And for those of you who are just coming in, I announced it earlier that this September we will be in the Black Manosphere Conclave. So get your tickets now. If you want to be a part of this, the website is pinned to the chat. You guys take a look at this. Your boy, Sir Hale Speaks in the building. I will be there as a speaker specifically talking about marriage. And so I would love for you guys to join me in Atlanta. I don't just say congratulations. I want y'all to meet me in Atlanta, specifically for the men. We're going to have a really good time. Let me play this bumper for you, and then I'll be right back right after this. Excellent, y'all. So y'all show up for that. And the last thing, so Fridays, we will be doing a new show called The Debate Space. So you guys saw an iteration of that last Friday with a few of my guests on there. We're going to be doing this. We're elevating the platform, and we are marketizing entertaining yet educational debates for current issues that we see today. So you guys support that. This show will be on Fridays. I want you guys to be a part of that. All right, so we're doing some big things, guys. I hope that you guys feel how we're growing. So as you guys support, be sure to not only like the stream, but to subscribe. For all of you, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and that you guys are getting the notification. You guys are going to see a lot more content come out as we elevate the brand and what we do. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate you. It's been a good time talking with you. I'm glad that you guys tuned in on this Monday evening. I hope that you guys heard what I said and that you took away something. I want to see you successful at what you do. I want to see good wives being great wives and good men being great husbands, and y'all being great to each other, loving those kids, and us impacting the community together. I believe in marriage, and I just think that the culture we live in, we need some guidance and some people who've done it for real. So until next time, everybody, love you. Much respect to you guys. Have a great night. Love on your people. Keep God first, and I believe that we're going to see a change for the better in our communities. Until next time, Sir Hale Speaks is at the building. Peace.
Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, 거의 yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 그 children. 꿈에도 I wasn't aware. 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해. 배신감이 들어 단판이 돼도 머릿속을 흔드는 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop. 승부욕을 자극하는 style yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가. 안만 빠져버릴까. If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded. I'm like frozen 뭐야 모두 stress은 gotta let it go 했어. 속였던 dating 어플 다 깔아 또 보았어. 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract. Don't know about me and you, yeah we fell into the cracks. Yeah 깎고 너네 no cap. 왜 나는 보여 what's happening. 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and wave it fast. Yeah I'm leaving back but 말은 don't know만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know 이건 love a relationship이 헷갈리기만 해 girl. I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Girl, you cold-blooded. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded.